Hello everybody and welcome to part 2 of Island Zoo scenario. We pick up exactly where we left off in part 1, where we have exactly 12 months left, so we're halfway through, to complete the scenario. We need a guest happiness of 93, it's currently at 96, which is really good. We're currently basically out of money, but it's the start of the month, so money will start to pick up because we've just had to pay, obviously, a lot of construction fee costs for polar bear exhibit and prematurely getting ready to build the white Bengal tiger exhibit. We might also actually end up building another exhibit over here if I can think of something that's relatively attractive, relatively cheap, and doesn't require a lot of space. Alternatively, I might build like one exhibit for one hippopotamus, which only requires 35 squares, and the hippo should actually be happy even with just one animal in the exhibit. It does mean we won't get any baby hippos, but that's kind of no big deal. Or alternatively, I might just build like fountains and duck ponds and bits of scenery. The only thing left to do with regards to the actual objectives is to build one more exhibit so that we have our 10th and final exhibit with a suitability rating of at least 85. And then, once that's done, we just have to maintain animal happiness and guest happiness in 93, which are currently at 99 and 96 respectively. Zoo rating is 87, that needs to be 75, so that's fine. So, with that, let us unpause the game. And hopefully money will start to build up, because I think this is actually a very profitable zoo. So yeah, we've got 401 guests, 25 benefactors, $49 admission fee, and yet even in December we still managed to attract 48 guests to the zoo. Making $6,000 in December. Children, unfortunately, only pay half price. So, wait, how does that work? We had 48 admissions, but $6,000 in admission income? That means that the average guest was paying like about $125 in admission? That doesn't seem to make any sense. I don't understand that. That doesn't really make any sense, unless some people were like 2 adults and a child, but it only counts as one admission. Anyway, one thing we do need to do, actually, is just check animal overcrowding, because these Bengal tigers, we've got one male, well, we've got 2 adult male Bengal tigers, so we can sell those off, because otherwise these Bengal tigers are going to get unhappy and start saying there's like too many animals in the exhibits. Otherwise, I think we're fine, other than the fact that the lions, when the lion babies grow up, we will need to sell off some lions. Black leopards are fine, Okapi is fine. A bit surprised that more people aren't going to see the Okapis, but I suppose these people are coming over. Nobody's coming over to see the polar bear, even though it's actually been around for 2 months. Which I find a bit odd. Maybe if I built another cafe over here, then people would actually come over to see the polar bear. It would actually, just turn the grid on, it would actually sort of give people a reason to come over here as well. And straight away, we've made like $6,000 in like half of January. So, I don't know if this is actually going to make any profit, but if we charge $11, then maybe people will actually come over to use this cafe. And then obviously it encourages them to go and see Mr. Polar Bear. And like I said, if they don't go and see Mr. Polar Bear, then that's kind of their loss. And we can also put in a bit more scenery over here as well. There you go. That just makes the zoo look a bit nicer. Guest happiness has actually dropped to 94. We've got one hungry guest, but he's right next to a restaurant, so it should be okay. Guest happiness is back up to 95. Animal happiness 98, zoo rating 86. So we've probably got enough money to start building up this white Bengal tiger exhibit. This one guest has decided to come over and see the exhibit that doesn't yet exist. So we've got the diverse species plaque for having 10 species in the zoo. Unfortunately, it doesn't come with any money. Got to be quite quick in doing this because by the end of the month we're going to have to pay a lot of money in wages and zoo upkeep costs. So if I can do this by the end of the month, that'll be beneficial. Okay, I think that's probably okay. Put in rocks and then foliage. And once again, we can use the rainforest fern rather than the mangrove to save a bit of money. And there you go, we get the award for highest quality exhibits, which means we've got 10 exhibits of, I think, maybe like 90 suitability for 10 exhibits. So that's 99 suitability. That's actually at 98 suitability, so... Okay, I don't really know why that's not 100 suitability, but maybe I'd need a bigger exhibit to do that. So let's save the game. We have actually technically met all the objectives now. The only thing is that we still need to maintain... we do need to maintain... guest happiness is 93, and it's currently 94. We do have 2 hungry guests, but they're both right next to some restaurants, so they should be alright. Right, so we've got basically 11 months to make sure that the guest happiness stays above 93. People are using this prairie dog, but not anywhere near enough for it to make any profit at all. And even though February did roll over, we still have $5,000. Literally nobody's gone over to see this compost build, well, to see this prairie dog cafe. I almost said literally no one's gone over to see the compost building, but that's actually obviously a very good thing. Why people aren't going over to see the polar bear, though, I don't know. Unless for some reason it's blocked, maybe, because of all these extra brick walls. I'm wondering maybe if guests can't go and see the polar bear because of the brick walls, but that wouldn't make any sense. But I'm actually just going to delete the double brick wall. Just in case it was causing issues somehow. I don't see how it would, but I can't think of any other reason why people aren't going over to see the polar bear. No, it's very strange. Yeah, nobody's going over to see Polar Bear. Guest happiness is back up to 95. If nobody goes to see the Polar Bear or nobody goes to see this Prairie Cafe by maybe like 1st of April, I think I might just actually build a wall off there and then just delete all of this, because I don't know why people aren't going to see the Polar Bear. I feel bad for the Polar Bear because no one wants to go and see him. I mean, there's a guest here that's commenting on this statue, but then they just don't go over to see the Polar Bear. Oh! Well, that'll be why. There was no path there. I didn't realise there was no path. So hopefully now that there is path, is the guest going to make no, the guest is not going to make the journey over to see the Polar Bear. Well, okay, this is really weird. Why is nobody going over to see my Polar Bear? I figured that building path would make a difference, but it's not. I'm also going to put some brick wall down over here. I don't know if that actually makes any difference whatsoever, but I can, so I will. Animal happiness has dropped to 97. Why? Ah. Okay. It's because there's too many lions in the exhibit now. Possibly. Saying that the lions are still reasonably happy, but obviously we do want to get rid of some lions. So keep 4 and 5. Get rid of 1 and 2. Okay. That's fine. Kangaroo, fine. Crocodile, fine. Komodo dragon, fine. Black Leopard has actually grown up, so unfortunately Black Leopard 3 will need to be sold off. Black Leopard 1 is actually only 83 happiness and 87 happiness. They will become happier now that Black Leopard 3 has gone away. And the animal happiness therefore increases up to 98. Guest happiness 94, that's fine. 97, 94. Right. So this particular... Yeah, loads of guests are wandering over to see the white Bengal tiger, which is really good. As for the unused bits of area, well, we can put in fountain like that and a fountain like that. I don't really want to build yet another fountain like that, but I could do, because fountains are very attractive to guests. And to be quite honest, I can't think of anything else that I could put in that's like 3x3 and would be relatively interesting, so maybe just put yet another fountain. Because... As for here, I could put in some scenery. Or I could put in another exhibit. And I'm thinking I might just go with scenery for sake of convenience. Because to put in an exhibit here, when the actual area is only... just check. It's only 53 tiles, so I could put in something like 1 hippopotamus, or I could put in something that's actually not that attractive to guests. But I'm thinking I could even build like another carousel or like another petting zoo. Can't put in like a Japanese garden or anything. I mean, I could even research like animal houses and put in an animal house, but that seems more trouble than it's worth. Could put in a carousel like that, and then actually put in... Would a petting zoo fit in there? Like petting zoo like that, and then carousel... That doesn't actually fit, so that's a bit annoying. Elephant ride is too big. Animal theatre is too big. Animatronic house would actually fit. I think I'll put in a... I mean, carousel would make money. Petting zoo might raise the guest happiness more than the carousel. I don't know. Is a simple answer. What about a petting zoo and an animatronic theatre? Does that fit? I don't think that's going to fit. No, that wouldn't fit. Crikey. Alright. That's all brick walled off, so the guests won't wander off around there. So that's not a problem. Put in some observation areas, though. And then, for here, put in fountain like that. And I think... I will go with the petting zoo, actually. And then, the final bit of area, I just want to put in... Oh! White Bengal Tiger's given birth, so that's an extra $10,000. Fantastic. Now, if the Okapi can breed, then that's another $10,000, and then that's all three of them actually bred. Yeah, for this bit of land, we can put in a snake pit and a Sphinx statue. And then we can top it all off with a bit more brick wall. And then, oh, guest happiness has dropped to 93. We're starting to get some hungry and tired guests. This is not good. Nobody's going to the petting zoo just yet. People are using the Prairie Dog Cafe. I think I'm actually going to increase that to $12. Put in a few more observation towers. Observation areas. Alright, we've got one tired guest over here. Where is this exactly? I mean, there's a cafe over there, but it might be worthwhile to just put in some benches anyway. Jackie 2 is ill, so we're going to need to cure him. Or her. He's no longer ill, that's fine. Oh, Zookeeper 6 isn't actually assigned to the White Bengal Tigers. That's not good. Right, We have actually done everything. We are making a lot of money. Zoo rating 88, animal happiness 98. The only problem is the guest happiness is only 93. Which is technically fine, but I'm very worried that it's going to drop because, as I say, it was 95. Ah! Kangaroo exhibit is now completely broken. The kangaroo could escape, but at the same time, it's not, because it's only the chain link fence. But I'm wondering if maybe, for some weird reason, does broken fencing affect guest happiness? Just make sure that no actual fencing is broken. Like, important fencing that could mean that we have an escaped animal. That's a bit damaged, so I'm just going to repair that myself. Okay. Lions, we've got a bit of broken chain link fencing, but that's okay. Black leopards, they're fine. Carpi, they're fine. I thought these Carpi had been more popular as well. Okay, now we've got an ill polar bear. Still nobody wants to go and see my polar bear. Loads of people are going to the white Bengal tigers, which is obviously to be expected. Okay, a few people are actually going to see the polar bear, and a few people are using the Prairie Dog Cafe. Guest happiness has now dropped to 92. The polar bear does need healing. I imagine, yeah. The guests are going to see the polar bear who's ill. This is not a good time for them to see the polar bear. Come on, zookeeper, hurry up. I think unfortunately the polar bear that is ill has actually just gone into his shelter, so he can't be healed. Okay. Right. Zookeeper. Zookeeper! Heal the polar bear. Right, now the polar bear is healthy. Right, we've still got 9 months to go. I'm going to keep this Prairie Dog Cafe, even though it is losing me a bit of money, because people are actually using it, and it gives people a reason to go and see the polar bear. On the other hand, I do want to put some benches in. It's possible that because people are going to see the polar bear, they're having to walk a long way to get to the Prairie Dog Cafe. I just hope that, as a net result, it's not actually decreasing guest happiness because they're getting tired by the time they actually reach the exhibit and the cafe. I hope that's not what's actually happening. But anyway, whilst contemplating all of this, I can put in more concrete observation areas. Get rid of this guest. Yeah, because guest happiness has now dropped to 92, and obviously it's going to need to go back up. So that's bad. Now it's dropping to 91. Why is this happening? This happened basically last time as well, where... Okay, now it's up to 92 again. Where everything was going really well, and then all of a sudden, for seemingly no reason, my guest happiness just tanked. Admittedly, I didn't have very popular animals, but why it just dropped so much, I have no idea. Okay, Jaguar 2 has died of old age, so we probably want to actually get some more Jaguar. It's actually a bit pointless putting an observation tower there, because the only thing they'd be able to see would be the shelter anyway. Guest happiness is now up to 92 again. So, Jaguar 2 died of old age, but Jaguar 1 is still going, and we actually have a female baby Jaguar. So, I think we're probably okay for Jaguar right now. We now have a baby female well, 2 baby female polar bear. Hopefully they will attract some guests over to go and see them, which they are doing, sort of. But still nobody chooses to donate to polar bears. The Carpi, I really thought they'd be more popular, but they're not for some reason. I'm just building mass amounts of observation areas because guests do like them. So hopefully it will increase guest happiness a tiny bit and bring it back up to 93. Failing that, I'm just going to have to put in a load of benches or something. We are getting a lot of tired guests, actually, to be fair. Bengal tiger ill. That's not good, obviously. Benches, benches, benches. We can build a crap load of benches. Guess happiness has just dropped to 91. Not good. Also put in some brick wall where we can. Bengal tiger very sick. Well, he needs to be healed then. One zookeeper's not doing his job right then. Where is the zookeeper anyway? Seriously, where's the zookeeper? Because presumably it's zookeeper 1. There he is. He was probably doing something with the kangaroos, which actually the exhibit is not big enough. Guess happiness is now 88. What on earth? Oh, for God's sake. Alright, well, get rid of this kangaroo. Bengal tigers are fine. Crocodiles are fine. Komodo dragons. There's now only the baby jaguar, which is a female, so we can get a male jaguar adult and a female jaguar adult. Lions are fine. Black leopards are fine. Okapi fine. White Bengal tigers fine. Polar bear fine. Guest happiness has dropped to 88. We're getting a lot of hungry, tired, thirsty guests. We've now got 500 guests in the zoo. Unfortunately, that doesn't come with any money. I'm going to actually manually repair all of these broken down fences because it is possible that would be affecting guest happiness. I doubt it, but you never know. Better to be safe than sorry, I suppose. And to make things easier, let's hide everything as well. Yeah, this is going really badly very quickly. Guest happiness is only 88. It needs to be 93. Why it's dropped so much, I don't know, because we don't have any ill animals. The animals are very popular, it's just we're getting hungry, tired, thirsty guests. Right, kangaroo exhibit is still apparently a bit damaged. Ooh, okay. That needs to be repaired. Right, guest happiness is now back up to 89. We don't have any ill animals, but we do have a lot of tired, hungry, thirsty guests. Now, I'm not going to make the mistake of building a load of, like, burger stands and ice cream stands and stuff like that, because that will just generate trash, which will necessitate the usage of bins and more maintenance workers, which actually will probably reduce guest happiness. Because guests don't like seeing bins for some reason, even though bins are basically a necessity and very useful. Yeah, these guests don't really make much sense. Don't try and logic with them. Okay, guest happiness is back up to 89, but obviously that's not high enough. 6 months left to complete the scenario. This Prairie Dog Cafe is now making a fortune. good profit. People are going to see the petting zoo as well. So this all seems okay. Guess happiness back up to 90. We're getting a lot of guests actually coming into the zoo, and I'm wondering if that's actually just possibly bringing the average guest happiness down. Oh wow, we're actually getting a lot of guests over to see this polar bear now. Yeah, guests are really wanting to go and see the polar bear. The Prairie Dog Cafe is still making a loss, but at least people are actually going and seeing my polar bear. Unfortunately, there's not really much I can do in the way of scenery or like benches around here. I suppose what I can do though is, I guess it's kind of pointless because the cafe is right there, but I can just put some benches there. And then that way guests can alleviate their tiredness without having to spend the full amount of money, I suppose. Okay, guest happiness is back up to 90, but it still needs to obviously be higher. We can put some benches in round here though, if I ever get some free space. There was a brief moment, there you go. I was going to say, there was a brief moment where it did actually go green, but it wouldn't let me build anything. So yeah, basically just put in as many benches to alleviate tiredness as much as we can. Because tired guests are not happy guests, obviously. Why are we're getting a lot of guests coming over here. Ah, I'm wondering if it's because the polar bears have had babies. Baby polar bears are probably very popular with guests. Right. And also, obviously, this cafe, which is actually now almost make the profit. Guest happiness is now 91. Yeah, basically all I can really do... I mean, I don't want to make the admission fee... I will save the game. I don't want to make the admission fee $100 because then nobody will actually come into the zoo. But I really do have to keep an eye on exhibit overcrowding because that reduces animal happiness by a lot. As soon as Jaguar 4 grows up, he's being sold. Same with Black Leopard 4. The Carpi refused to breed, but to be quite honest, I'm fine with that. Guest happiness now 91. Bengal Tiger can't find any food. Animal happiness 98, guest happiness 91. Alright, we've still got one angry guest who has been in the zoo a short time. All of her needs are met apart from a bit of tiredness, but for some reason she's still really unhappy. I guess guest's just going to complain regardless, like there's not really much I can do about that. Okay, we've got some thirsty... I can put in some benches over here. Right. There's not really anywhere else I can put things. I feel like I've kind of used up as much space as possible. But yeah, just literally putting benches everywhere. I I'm assuming that guests can still use that bench, even though that bench is right next to it. Okay, guest happiness is still only 91. Really not sure what else I can do, to be honest. Because I can't really put more scenery in, because I've kind of used up as much space as possible. I suppose I can put in better scenery, like replace... Ah, there you go, it's up to 92. Like, replace some of the scenery with, like, just better scenery. I suppose I can do that. So, I think, for example, this elephant statue and lion statue, if we replace those with, like, a sphinx statue, or like another bighorn statue, then I think they're actually more attractive to guests. So get rid of the elephant statue and replace it with another bighorn statue, I suppose. That's a lot of bighorn statues. It's very repetitive, this scenery. There's a lot of bighorn statues. Alright. Put some hedge around this Prairie Dog Cafe. Just as long as we don't actually block the entrance. Actually, that's probably... Oops. That's probably making the... Yeah, it's probably making the path a bit too narrow if we put hedges there, so maybe get rid of those. Okay, guest happiness is now 92. Let's just save the game again. Right. This is difficult. I could get some tour guides, but again, it's like, how much difference would they actually make? You know, I could get like 6 tour guides, but it would cost an extra $3,000 a month, which, to be fair, I can afford. But how much of a difference would they actually make? I guess they can't hurt. Okay, get rid of these water wells and replace them with yet more snake pits. And can I put something down like there? I did read that cherry blossom... Yeah, is it cherry trees? Possibly cherry trees, or white oak? No. Japanese maple. Hold up. Okay, the grid was actually on. I think it's cherry trees, so we can put some cherry trees down there. Can't really do much over here, unfortunately. But I think these cherry trees are about the only scenery I can put on a slope. Guess happiness is still only 92. But guests do like cherry trees, I think. Whoops. Not quite sure what just happened there. Still guest happiness 92. Komodo dragon has just given birth. Once again, we'll check for overpopulation. Hey, guest happiness 93. Okay. So these jaguars have actually given birth to their own child. Black leopard is fine, carpy is fine, polar bear, they're fine. White Bengal tiger is fine. Right. So guest happiness has just hit 93. This is very good. I've got one angry guest who's been in the zoo a short time. Oh, one thing I could do, actually, is gift stands. So, we have a gift shop, but we don't have any gift stands. So, basically, if a guest wants a souvenir, they have to go all the way to the gift stand. Or the gift shop, rather. And the advantage of a gift stand is that, obviously, they make money, but they don't produce any trash. And they're only one square, or one tile. So we could actually get a few of those. So if we put one like that, just charge $7, it's fine. I guess happiness is back up to 94 now. Just make it a bit more colourful. It doesn't make any difference to the guests, but you know. So I don't know if that'll actually make a profit, but it might just help to increase the guest happiness, because I think this, because then you know, they can get a souvenir without necessarily having to go all the way to the gift shop, which might be quite far away for them, and we can have a lot of these gift stands. I think this bit of path is, well, it is being used, and I guess it kinda serves a purpose. Okay, guest happiness is 94. Save the game. So we've still got another 6 months to go. We have beaten all the objectives. But yeah, like, I could put a gift stand here, because this square is technically not being used. Charge $7. And like I said, these will maybe, just maybe, increase guest happiness enough that it stays above 93. Because any guest that doesn't already have a souvenir can then go and get a souvenir. But saying that, all these guests already have souvenirs, except this guy who's just arrived. His favourite animal is polar bear, but he's decided to go and see the white Bengal tiger. Why don't you go and see the polar bear if you really want to see the polar bear? Because he likes the duck pond too much. Well, that's fair enough. I mean, I like duck ponds as well, so... Alright. Okay, so people have actually used this gift stand. 2 people have used it, but unfortunately we've had to pay $50 in income, in upkeep rather. This pro dog is now making a fortune. Are there any buildings that aren't making a profit at all, besides that gift stand? Nobody's used this gift stand yet. I don't think people will use that gift stand because, you know, it's like on the outskirts of the zoo. But you never know, someone might use it. I'm just thinking that anybody that comes this way probably already has a souvenir already. But maybe someone will want a stuffed panda from this gift stand. Guest happiness has just dropped to 93. Like I said, it's not going to be easy, this scenario, maintaining that guest happiness. there you go. We can sell off 1 and 2. And then we've got an adult male and an adult female. Komodo dragons are fine. Jaguar... Okay, sell off Jaguar 4. Lions are fine. Black leopards are fine. Carpi, fine. Polar bear, fine. And then we're going to need to sell off White Bengal Tiger 3. Okay. Right. Has anybody used this gift stand yet? 2 people. Unfortunately, we need to make 7 people use it a month just for it to make a profit, so... Yeah, these gift stands aren't really going to make a profit. I didn't think that they would, but that's not their intended purpose. Just repair these exhibit fences again. These chain link fences do break very easily and have like basically no durability, but they're also very cheap, given that they are literally the cheapest exhibit fencing available. Right, I'm going to save the game again. Right, I can put in a bit more observation area there. So we still have some hungry, thirsty, tired, toilet-needing guests. We also have 538 guests in the zoo. I don't think this will make much difference, but I'm actually going to hire 6 tour guides and just spread them around the zoo. So we're going to have like 1 here, one here, 1 here, 1 here, 1 here, 1 here. How many is that? That's 6. And I guess we can get a 7th one. And an 8th one, I suppose. I don't know if they will make any difference whatsoever. Is there anything we can research? We could research, like, animal enrichment and try and get the cat climbing tree. But I think you have to do quite a lot of research to do that. So it's probably better off we just cancel all that. Save the game once more. Right. This is one of those situations where I actually want the deadline to just hurry up and just end, because... not because I've actually, like, completed the objectives and I'm mind-numbingly bored of waiting for the deadline, but rather because, you know, I could still fail this. Amazingly, those gift stands are actually making a very small profit. Although this one won't by the time it's month end and we've got to pay for the upkeep. Right. Oh man. If guest happiness was like 95, I'd be thinking we're probably okay, but the fact it's literally 93 makes me scared. None of the guests coming over here, yeah, none of the guests coming over here don't already have inventory items, apart from this guy. I was contemplating putting another gift stand, but I think that'd probably just be a waste, to be honest. Hmm. I'm kind of scared, to be honest. Like, still 5 months to go, and I don't know if I will do this. Okay, sell off black leopard 4. Before that started to cause problems. Okay, these tigers need to be sold off before we get overcrowding issues affecting animal happiness. Tigers do breed a hell of a lot, it's got to be said. Lions do breed a lot as well, but these tigers seem to be breeding even more than the lions. Alright. Okay. Let's save the game. Yeah, I probably want to put some benches and scenery around here because otherwise these guests are going to get tired. Can't put benches on an incline, unfortunately. But we can put a bench there. We can put benches over this way. Won't let me put a bench there because this guest's in the way. What I can do as well is cherry blossom trees here. And then put in some exhibit observation areas. Yeah, concrete observation areas for exhibits. Like that. Hide the foliage, just so I can actually sort of see what I'm doing. Can't really put any more in. These polar bears now, all of a sudden, because of this cafe, these polar bears are really popular. Black leopards are really popular, and I think that might be because we had the baby. But that was quite some time ago, so maybe black leopards, yeah, they are just really popular anyway. Bengal tiger's obviously really popular, because that's like the first exhibit that you see when you come into the zoo, and it's also surrounded by a restaurant, a gift stand, or a gift shop rather, and a carousel. We actually only have one... Do we only have one carousel in the entire zoo? Yeah, we do. But saying that, this petting zoo is getting like 20... almost like 22 guests a month on average, so that's really good. As I expected, the gift stand is not making any money. And this one's making a bit more money, but still not enough to actually make a profit. Alright. 4.5 months to go. This happiness is currently 93. Yeah, this is it's going to be close. Got 8 tour guides. I still don't really know how much of a difference these guys are making. Got a lot of hungry guests, but a lot of them are reasonably close to restaurants, so they should be okay. That's brick walled off. And obviously this is all sort of, well, not literal, well, it is going to be brick walled off, but, you know. So, at one end of the zoo you've got a cafe, and at the other end you've got a literal brick wall, surrounded by cherry trees. I mean, personally, if you ignore the extremely strange layout, I think this zoo is actually really, really nice looking. There's a lot of scenery. The brick wall does actually, surprisingly, make the zoo look a lot nicer, even though it's just a literal brick wall. Which I'm quite surprised, but also very pleased about. Obviously, my opinion doesn't match that of the actual guests, and it's the actual guests whose opinion matters more, unfortunately. And these guests are, for lack of a better word, pretty stupid. Unfortunately. Okay, these polar bears are grown up, so we do want to sell off Polar Bear 3 and Polar Bear 4, unfortunately. Because otherwise that would start causing issues for the polar bear. They'd be complaining that there's too many animals in the exhibit and they'd get unhappy and the exhibit's not big enough, etc. Right, we've got an ill black leopard, that's not good. And we've also got an ill lion. So why are my zookeepers not there to sort that out? Where is my zookeeper? He's over here. So he's going to the black leopard exhibit anyway. Also want to repair that and that. Right, so it's just healed the... Right, he seems to just be wandering around aimlessly. He healed the black leopard. Where is the zookeeper for this lion? It's over here for some reason, raking up some poo. Okay. Right. Guest happiness is still 93, even though we did have some ill animals. Animal happiness is 99. Once again, I'm going to save the game. This bit of area is typically unused, so put some benches in like that. Don't want to put too many in, because I don't want to make the path too narrow for the guests. No! Guest happiness has dropped to 92! Why? You bastards! I thought it was safe at 93. Oh my god. Is it because we're getting new guests coming into the zoo? Do I have to increase the admission fee? Guest happiness is now 93. I'm quite tempted to actually increase the admission fee. Okay, these polar bears have actually just given birth to another 2 males, so these polar bears have a lot of children, which is a bit surprising, really. Okay, guest happiness is back up to 93. Okay, right. There's no animals I can sell off. We've got 3.5 months to go. I am very tempted to increase the admission price. On the other hand, I'm actually just going to hire 4 more tour guides, and then we've got 12 tour guides for 600 guests. That's a hell of a lot. Why are you just standing around doing nothing on one leg? Right, now you're wandering off. I mean, don't tell me that the tour guides are so ineffective they actually decrease guest happiness and I would have been better off without them. Because if that's the case, that is utterly stupid. Right. Anyway. That doesn't look right. What just happened? Ah. Okay. Wait, what was that? Oh, it's the plane, because it's September 17th. Yeah, September 17th, the plane comes along, because it's like the anniversary. It's like the exact day the game was released. Although apparently the game was actually released in October, but I don't know. This doesn't look right, but I think that is the maximum amount of trees I can put in. Unless I can put a tree in like that, but no, that doesn't look right. I think that is the limit. So anyway, right. Save the game. At this point, I'm literally doing everything I can to make the zoo just a bit more scenic and attractive to guests. If I do that, is that going to block off the big horse statue? I don't know. I'm going to leave it like that. No! Guest happiness 92! No! Okay, Black Leopard 2 has just given birth. Oh my god, I'm so fed up with this. Like, I feel like I have nothing left to give. You know, what more can I do to increase this guest happiness? Seriously, I might have to raise the admission price at this rate. Because I think I'm getting too many guests who are coming in and lowering my admission, or my guest happiness. Amazingly, that's actually... I was going to say it's almost profitable. Right. Prepare a bit of the fencing. Can't actually see what I'm doing, to be honest. Okay, it's back up to 93. No, now it's down to 92. I'm going to increase this to... I don't want to increase it to, like, a ridiculous amount. But the thing is I don't know, like, is there a difference between charging, say, like $59, and is there a difference... If I increase the... At the moment, I've got the admission price at $49, which is giving me approximately, 40, 50 guests coming into the zoo every month. If I increase it to like $59, is that the same as far as the guests are concerned as just charging $100? I don't know. Because I don't want to lose a whole load of money, which technically I can afford. To be on the safe side, I'm not going to make it the full... I'm not going to make the admission price the full $100. I'm going to make it $59. Although, judging by the fact that guests have suddenly seemingly stopped coming into the zoo, I'm wondering if $49 and $25, or rather if $59 and charging $100 is basically the same in the guest's mind. And maybe I just should leave it at $49, or alternatively just raise it to $100. I don't know. But hey, if I mean, this guy's just coming to the zoo. If raising the admission price is what I've got to do to ensure guest happiness at 93, then that's what I'm going to do. But personally, I would rather have the admission price at $49, because then guests still actually do come into the zoo. I really wish I could put, like, scenery around here. Got some vomiting guests, not really much I can do about that, I suppose. Maybe there's a bit too much poo or something. There is a fair bit of poo around here. No! Why has it gone down to 91? Oh, for fuck's sake. Have we got... No, we don't have any ill animals. Animal happiness is 95, though. Which implies that we've probably got overcrowding somewhere. Okay. What is going on with these jaguar? Right, the jaguar are really, really unhappy. So, I'm actually going to reload the save. So this is October 13th. No, I don't want to save my zoo. It's now October 7th. So guest happiness is 93, animal happiness 96. Right, the jaguar... Yeah, we need to sell off a jaguar. So we can sell off jaguar 5. Jaguar 6 and 7 are a bit unhappy. This is what I mean though, like, this whole scenario is so hanging on a knife edge. Because as soon as those jaguar grew up to adulthood, the jaguar are then really unhappy because there's too many animals in the exhibit. And if I don't notice that these jaguar have just suddenly grown up, then it's like disaster. Because the animals become unhappy, which affects the guest happiness. Saying that, animal happiness 98, guest happiness 92. Why has it just dropped? I don't think that... I think at this point I have two options. I either leave it at 49 or raise it to 100, because I think, as far as the guests are concerned, charging $59 is the same as charging $100. In the same way that charging nothing at all is the same as charging $19. Got 3 angry guests who've all been in the zoo. Not actually, well, not that long. This guest is basically just unhappy because all of their needs are not being met. Well, the simple answer is go to the cafe. I really don't know what to do, to be honest. We've got 2.5 months, and the guest happiness is currently 92. If it was 94, or even 95, I'd be thinking that's fine. But the fact it's only 92, I mean, A, that's not good enough, but even if it were 93, I'd be thinking it could just drop at any second. And then I just fail the scenario. Guests aren't coming to the zoo. We do need guests. Well, guests are coming to the zoo, but I'm going to decrease this back down to 49, which is probably a mistake, but I just want guests to actually come into the zoo and save the game. Man, this is incredibly stressful for me. Because this is actually my second attempt at doing this scenario as well. And I failed the first attempt because the guest happiness went down to like, well, it hovered around 87. I swear I put cherry trees in there, but maybe I didn't. I put them there. Okay, well, anywhere where there's like a tiny bit of space, I can put some cherry trees. Because they're like, A, they raise guest happiness, and B, I can put them on inclines, whereas regular scenery I can't do that, so... I think that just said a lion is giving birth. Right, guest happiness back up to 93, so we will save the game. With 2 months to go, it's just dropped to 92. Fuck's sake, man. There's just no pleasing these stupid guests. I've just realised this bit of path is largely pointless. So I could put some scenery around there and that should just like block it off, maybe. Right, it was 93, now it's back down to 92. Because basically I want guests to come in round here and then go here and here to the cafe. But a lot of this path is actually fairly pointless, because unless you're actually going to go see the polar bear... So I could actually probably block this off. Maybe put in some scenery. I don't know. Maybe leave it, I don't know. Alright, it's back down to 92. Fuck's sake. Normally... Yeah, I'd say normally guest happiness isn't really an issue, but it is with this one for some reason. And I think that's just because of the layout of the zoo. You know, because like free admission, I had guest happiness like 95, and that wasn't an issue. But here, it's bad. Right, it's back up to 93. We've got a month and a half to go. As expected, that's making a loss. There's no zoo scenery I can replace either, because all this scenery is basically the most attractive to guests that I can really get, so there's nothing wrong with the scenery. It's not like I'm using scenery that's just bad, or like not very attractive. No, this is very, very good scenery, in theory. Right, as always, check overpopulation. Komodo dragon, he's going to need to be sold off. Jaguar is fine. Lions, they've had some babies. Baby male, so they're going to need to be sold off as soon as they reach adulthood. Black leopard is fine. Carpy is fine. Polar bear is fine, but they will need to be sold off once they hit adulthood. White Bengal tiger is fine. Save the game. Month and a half to go. Can this deadline end already, please? This is horrible. On the plus side, we've got a fortune in cash, but unfortunately I don't really have anything I can do with it. I don't really understand how this has all gone from being like no guests at all to being really popular, because okay, I did put in the path that wasn't actually there before, but even once I actually built it, it took a while before guests actually started to arrive over here. Fortunately, polar bear is actually a really popular exhibit. It's making quite a bit of donation money. More so, actually, than the White Bengal Tiger. I really thought the Okapi had been more popular, but it isn't. Jaguar is actually, I think, our least attractive animal in the zoo. And also a bit problematic, because they seem to like breeding. And we can only have 2 animals in the entire exhibit. Do I need another zookeeper anywhere, possibly? Is there a bit too much poo somewhere? Because these kangaroos seem to have a bit of poo. I'm just wondering if maybe another zookeeper would help. No! 92 guest happiness. Fuck off, man. This is bullshit. The fact it can drop at a moment's notice is ridiculous. And I hate it. It's like psychological torture. Right, it's back up to 93. I'm going to save the game again. Right, the black leopards are fine. Remember those early scenarios where I ended them about 6 months early because I was bored and had nothing to do? Yeah, weren't they fantastic? Unlike these modern scenarios where I've literally got to wait till the deadline and not knowing if I'm actually going to do it or not. Yeah, that really stings. Right, we've got 1 month left. You seem to be very happy with your zoo, but for some reason they keep dropping to 92 guest happiness. Alright, 1 month left. I've done everything I can. Everything in my power, really. I'm going to apologise now if I don't say much. I'm just holding my breath, making sure that everything is fine. And also, to be fair, it's quite obvious what I'm actually doing at this point, so anything I did say would just be repeating myself. Yeah! Sorry I went silent there for the last sort of 10 minutes or however long that was. Oh, bloody hell, that was stressful. That was so stressful. I had to make sure that everything was fine because that guest happiness was stuck on 93, knowing that at any moment it could go up to 92, and it just refused to go up to 94. So the moment that I only had one kangaroo, I thought, well, if Red Kangaroo 1 has died of old age, Red Kangaroo 2 could die of old age, and if I hadn't been constantly checking the exhibits, he could have died and I would have failed because I didn't have 10 exhibits with 85 suitability or more. And similarly, like the crocodiles growing up, you know, that would have caused issues because the crocodiles would complain that there's too many animals in the exhibit, the exhibit's not big enough, etc. The lions didn't actually grow up to maturity in the end, but the Bengal tigers, who breed a lot, I don't know how many children those Bengal tigers have had in these 2 years, they then grew up to adulthood, so I had to sell those off. Wow, that was stressful. But I did it. So I'm going to click yes, and I'm going to save the game for final time. Guest happiness is 93, 600 guests, fair amount of hungry, thirsty, tired, and toilet needing guests, but it's okay. 98 animal happiness, 88 zoo rating, and we finally won. Let's take one last look at the zoo. I think it looks pretty damn good, considering the extremely weird layout. The ridiculous amount of brick wall and scenery and fountains and everything, and the fact that we've got 3 prairie dog cafes. Yeah, 3 prairie dog cafes, 1 rainforest restaurant, 1 Arctic gift shop, 2 petting zoos, 1 carousel, 1 animal theatre, 1 elephant ride, 1 animatronic theatre, and then 2 gift stands that, are unprofitable. But the thing is overall, A, we actually won the scenario, and B, this is actually a really profitable zoo. I don't know how much it's making a month, but I can actually sort of work it out approximately. So if we just look at December, okay, we've probably made about an extra 3,000 just from selling off baby animals and stuff. But at the same time, sell off, call it an extra sort of $1,500, and yeah, we're making like $15,000 a month. Thanks to 53 benefactors. Honestly, late game, if you've got a lot of guests and they're happy, and they do become benefactors, benefactors give you a lot of money each month in donations. And to be fair, in December we actually only made $7,000 in donations, whereas in October and November we made more than 10,000. So, yeah, what I'm trying to say in a convoluted way is profitable zoo, 88 zoo rating, 98 animal happiness, 93 guest happiness. But keeping that guest happiness, boy oh boy, that was a challenge. And unfortunately, there will be quite a lot of scenarios with deadlines where we do need 93 guest happiness. Fortunately, this is the only scenario in the entire game where you can't raise or lower terrain. Compost building made $18,400 in 2 years. That's a lot of money. So it's the only scenario really where we're going to have such a uniquely odd zoo layout. All the other zoos should hopefully be the sort of fairly conventional layout, which is to say quite a grid-like pattern, which is preferable when building the zoo. But anyway, I'm going to save the zoo, or save the game, one last time, and then I'm going to save it one last time. Go into the main menu, and here we can see Island Zoo completed. Congratulations, you have managed to create a successful and thriving zoo under some difficult restrictions. Yeah, they really were some difficult restrictions. That's a bit of an understatement. The city of New Orleans has given you a key to the city in honour of your accomplishment. Unfortunately, you can't actually do anything with that. That's just like saying, you know, well done. It doesn't affect any other future scenarios. Unlike scenarios where it says, like, for example, you have unlocked the photo booth or the fancy show grandstand or, you know, a fountain or whatever, where you can actually use it in the future. That's just a bit of a joke, really. But anyway, that concludes Island Zoo. Thank goodness that is over. Because that was, even though it's like a really interesting, unique scenario, you know, with like the shape of the zoo and obviously, you know, being a massive restriction, actually keeping that guest happiness at 93, that was incredibly stressful, as I've said before. But anyway, I hope you've enjoyed not just this video, but also part 1, and all the other Zoo Tycoon scenario videos that I've done in the past. Go check them out if you haven't already. Thank you so much for watching. Leave a like, share, comment, subscribe, all the usual stuff, and I will see you in the next scenario, which you can see from the scenario selection screen, which you don't normally see, because normally I end the video without actually going to the scenario selection screen. But you can see that we have actually won all of these scenarios. I actually did the tutorials as well, which was completely pointless, but I didn't record them. Next scenario is another advanced Zoo Tycoon scenario. It is the second of 4 that come with the base game. More are included with complete collection. And it is African Savannah Zoo. Don't really remember it. Which means it's either really difficult, but I've just blotted it from my memory, or it's quite straightforward, or maybe it's reasonably challenging but kind of boring. I don't remember it, but tune in to the next video where we'll be playing African Savannah Zoo, second of 4 advanced Zoo Tycoon scenarios. And as I've said earlier, thank you so much for watching. Leave a like, share, comment, subscribe, all the usual stuff. I'll see you in the next video. Take care, folks. Have a nice day, and goodbye.